Well, good evening to everybody out there in internet land. My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative, and welcome to the Tuesday night newsroom, the almost beginning of the week thing we do here on the internet, where we get together, we talk about the news, we give our views, and we try to make sense of this crazy thing that we call life. Again, my name is Brian Trippett. I am known in social media as the Front Porch Conservative. I am sometimes referred to as the wise guy in the wide brim. Sometimes I'm called the kid in the lid. On occasion, I'm called the common man with common sense. But in this moment, as always, I am, above all else, your host. We are on Rumble. We are on Twitter. And we are on that quaint little alternative social media platform known as YouTube. So if you would not mind, if you do not care, please do me some favors as always. Number one, if you got friends of yours that you know would love this channel, then by George, send them the link. Ask them to subscribe. We are a going little concern. We like to be a going big concern, and we can do that with every little bit of help that you give, and all of it is greatly appreciated. While you're at it, for tonight's live stream, well, since you're already here, hit the thumbs up button and leave a comment in chat. The host promises to give a thumbs up or a heart, or whatever the kids do these days, to thank you for your good efforts and all those things that you do to try to help our channel out. So leave a comment, hit the thumbs up button, hit the bell for notifications, and do all those things that you do. We greatly do appreciate it. Oh my goodness, had a wonderful weekend. If you are a lover of college football, you would have loved the game that was at my hometown university, Marshall. Winning in double overtime, baby. Woo! A thriller. I'm getting too old for those kind of games. They are hard on the veins and hard on the heart. We pulled it out. Double overtime victory over North Texas. And now the team's got a little bit of breathing room before they go down to Coastal Carolina, which, by the way, next Thursday night, I think it's 7 p.m. Eastern. If you happen to live in the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area, may I recommend that you go. Yes, I was, WWG1. I was at that game. The lady and I were in attendance. Thank you for asking. We left. Now, I have to confess, we left with about 5 minutes to go. Not because we thought, Marshall was going to lose, but because we're meeting some friends outside the stadium for some, adult entertainment, dinner more particularly. And I listened to the rest of the game on the radio, which, by the way, I don't know about how you guys feel when it comes to college football or sports in general, but particularly football. I'll make an argument. I almost love listening to a game more on the radio than I do listening to it or watching it on TV, because your mind has to work to see what's going on. I think radio engages the mind more when it comes to understanding what's going on in a college football game than does television. Television, in one sense, is easy. You just watch it. But the radio makes you think. So I listened to the rest of the game over the radio, and it was a good game, great game. Wait a minute. Oh, for heaven's sake, man. Heaven's sake. Oh, for heaven's just. My audience, ladies and gentlemen, my audience. So anyway, it was great game over the weekend. Spent time with the lady. We had a wonderful weekend together, hanging out with her friends. One of her friends visited from her hometown and had never been to Huntington before, and got a taste of Huntington hospitality, and played a couple of pranks on her, which I think she appreciated in good humor. At least I hope she did anyway. But we had a lot of fun, great weekend. And now we're back doing this thing we do on Tuesday nights, the newsroom. And I also have to give some thank yous. I want to thank Kit Cabello for stopping by Saturday morning to give us an update with what's going on in Chicago, Illinois. If you're not following Hard Lens Media, of which he is the proprietor of that channel and that Twitter account, you need to sign up on Twitter to follow him. Sign up for his Rumble account, for his YouTube account. I think he's on Kick as well. But follow Kit Cabello and Hard Lens Media anywhere you possibly can. He is a genuinely good dude. And like I say, I love getting his take on things that are going on in Chicago. And in that same vein, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, we are having a visit from the professor. That is right. Dr. Robin McCutcheon, economist at Marshall University, is coming back to give us her take on all things economics here in America and around the world. And I shot her a list of questions over the weekend, things I'd like to talk about. So knowing Dr. M, she is hard at work putting everything together. So remember, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, Dr. Robin McCutcheon will be here on the electronic front porch for a discussion of all things economics. Yeah, got that right. Common sense and a little bit of sass to go with it. And God bless her for the sass, because Lord knows the economics world needs it. So yes, set your calendars for tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Dr. Robin McCutcheon is going to be stopping by the electronic front porch. And also, I have to thank and apologize right now. I have to apologize to WWG1, TBA, and Salty Old Fart. And the reason for my apology, as I sort of explained on the Rumble side, I don't know what happened Saturday, because I saw all these memes and I'm copying and pasting for all my as fast as my little fingers will go. And for some reason, I have a feeling that the memes, something happened in the transfer. So I explained what happened and apologized to them, and I'll apologize again. But they were gracious enough to provide us with memes tonight. Man, they had a slew of them. So the host will try to be more careful in curating the memes that are provided to him. But again, thank you, gentlemen, for bailing us out this evening. And always appreciate it. And with that in mind, we will start with the merry memes, as we are wont to do on this live stream. Then we'll go into a couple or three topics, some of them serious. We are going to talk about the No Kings rally. Okay. And there's a lot of aspects of it. Well, no, this one you can't lay on to the aliens, dear. This one might be my fault, because all those great memes that they curated for today, somewhere between my copying, my pasting, I think I scuttled them out the window. That's all I can say. Oh, we're going to get into that too. We're going to get into that aspect too. But we're going to get through the memes first. There's a lot of thievery going on these days. And recently, someone called the police department to report something that was stolen that, frankly, is not just unique to them, but precious to all of us. Goes something like this. Hello, police. Someone stole my weekend. I saw it on Friday and poof, it was gone. Boy, can I relate to this. Can I relate to this one, let me tell you. I clock out at work on a Friday, and then before I know it, it's Sunday night again. I'm like, what the heck happened to my weekend? What the what? And don't get me wrong, I love my weekends, but it's like, wait a minute, these things are too short. Way too short. So yeah, I kind of relate to where this guy's coming from here. I totally agree. Freaking gone. Absolutely absurd. Absurd. And then when you get on the weekends, then you have a hard problem on your hands. It's like, and it goes something like this. It's like, who am I going to meet up with? I got one buddy called me on the phone, says, hey, let's go hang out. I'm hanging out online. Somebody messages me through Facebook Messenger or some such thing, or Discord, or whatever the kids are using these days. So it's like, what am I going to do? Well, you could be like this poor guy. He's like, your internet friends be like, let's go, man. And then you're like, I don't know. This is such a good idea. Don't know if this is such a good idea. So crazy indeed. All right. What else do we have? I have always said some memes speak for themselves. You know what? I'm not even going to do anything to introduce this. I'll just let this one hang out right here as I sip some tea. One moment, please. the pause that refreshes. Yep. I've been working on the railroad all the live long. Ooh, there's a derailment. Yeah, buddy. So there you go. In all seriousness, though, for good or for bad, ever since Donald Trump got elected and got sworn in again as president, everything is changing, be it either here in America or around the world. And sometimes you have to really pause to stop and consider all the things that are changing or have changed ever since Donald Trump came back. And somebody sent me something, and the more I looked at it and I thought about it, I was like, you're absolutely right. If there's any one thing we ought to give Donald Trump credit for, it's this. We haven't had to listen to her laughing, not for a year. Only in very limited sound bites or the occasional drunken rant. But short of that, we haven't had to listen to Kamala. Folks, what more can you ask for? I mean, yeah, gasoline prices are down. Things are going pretty good, but we haven't had to listen to Kamala laugh. That's reason enough for me. Oh, now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do me a favor. Do me a favor. This young lady right here, just went over the 50,000 follower mark on Twitter. Can we please give Jessica Fensky, aka Force Mommy, a round of applause? I saw it this evening. Jessica, congratulations, darling. And like I said in my response to your tweet, you are definitely not a nobody. You are somebody, and thank God for you. And I mean this in all sincerity. Don't you dare stop being you, and don't you dare change a thing. We all love you. And honey, congratulations. 50,000 followers on Twitter is huge. So good for you, dear. You are absolutely awesome. And we all love you. So keep on keeping on, because you are doing the Lord's work out there in the great state of Colorado. That's all I'm saying. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I agree. I agree. I had not planned to talk about this story, but I'm probably going to have to get into this. So, somebody tag me on Twitter related to this subject and remind me, and we'll probably wind up doing. We might get into this tomorrow night with Dr. McCutcheon. Just see what she's got to say about it. I don't know, but we'll see. Anyway, what else do we have here? Oh, yes. Question for you guys, since you are very, very smart people. What happens when you mix Halloween and a lot of alcohol? Well, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Yep. Sometimes you just got to be careful with what you consume during the Halloween season. Or else you kind of wind up like your fella down there on the first step. Not now. Wait a minute, Salty. When I said give Force Mommy a clap, I did not mean that kind of clap. Oh, for the love of God, you are awful. You're awful, sir. Good grief. Yeah, apparently they had a really good party. Oh yeah, they had they had a real good party. Thank you. I did not say for Salty to give Force Mommy the clap. Good God. Well, and in the spirit of trying to do something nice for the audience, as I am a want to always try to do, I'm gonna put the link to that particular meme on the Twitter side, excuse me, on the Rumble side, and also on the YouTube side. So if you guys want to use that someplace, please feel free. Please feel free indeed. All right, what else do we have here? Hmm. Yes. You know, people on the political left are always complaining about the American prison system, that it's somehow grossly unfair. You don't get what you really want or need. Um, it's one of those institutions that should not exist. I, on the other hand, profoundly disagree with that, as you might expect, but maybe not for the reasons that you think. I mean, as someone wisely pointed out to me this evening, if you stop and think about it, prisons are a perfect place for people on the political left. But again, maybe not for the reasons you think. For example, if you stop and think about it, in prison, everybody gets treated equally. Everyone gets free food. They get free health care. Nobody's got guns except the guards, and nobody has to worry about cars or gasoline or pumping oil. I mean, prison is a leftist's paradise if you stop and think about it, especially if you're one of the inmates. So, I mean, look, for all you lefties out there, they're looking for free food, free health care, not having to worry about gasoline for your cars and all that crap. If you want, we'll put you in prison. I mean, it would be everything you've ever hoped for. So, I mean, if that's what you want, let us know. I mean, just saying. I personally don't want to be in prison. I don't know about you guys. I don't think I happen to look very good in jumpsuit orange. Okay. Look, with my skin tone and everything else. Oh, Lord, no, we don't need that jumpsuit orange. No. No jumpsuit orange for me. No. Goodness me. You know what? I'm saving that one. I'm going to save that one. You guys have seen your local comic, well, not necessarily in your comic strip in your newspaper, but you guys have seen those two pictures that are put side by side, and you're asked to find the difference between what's in the one picture versus what's in the other. I love doing those. I love doing it, especially I love timing myself doing it. No. Brian, no, not Brian for prison. No. Thank you very much. No, absolutely not. What do you mean? What's a newspaper? Oh, now look. With all due respect, sir, I happen to know you're not that young that you don't know what a newspaper is. Okay, you can try that stuff with other people. Ain't happening. Well, now maybe they would. Now, hang on, maybe they would give me an orange fedora. I gotta rethink this thing. Anyway, two pictures are side by side. You're asked to find the difference between the two. Now, I'm gonna let you guys play that very same game here. Tell me, when you look at this, what's the difference between these two pictures? I mean, I don't know. Maybe the tassels on the flag, something there, or maybe his lapel pin is a little bit different, or maybe the tie's a little to one side or the other. I don't know. You tell me, what's the difference between these two pictures? I'm having trouble figuring this one out myself. I don't know. Kind of crazy, but if you guys happen to, is that what it is? Is that what it is? Well, I did not know that. Huh. Well, there you go, folks. You got to thank TBA because he's always coming through for this audience. Let me tell you, always coming through for this audience. All right. What else do we have here? Yes. I mean, we're going to talk about the No Kings rally. I told you guys we're going to do that. But there's been some very interesting effects that have come off of that rally over the weekend. And some of them are not exactly what people intended. As a matter of fact, some of the people who participated in those rallies are having some very, how do I want to put this? They're having a very hard time adjusting to reality. I mean, for example, I'm hearing about reported increases of visits to psychiatric hospitals or psychiatric offices. There's a lot of self-doubt, a lot of questioning about reality, a lot of wondering, are the kings in the rooms with, I mean, look, I feel sorry for some of these people. I genuinely do. So, if you have a friend of yours that went to one of these rallies and they're having a hard time adjusting to the realities of life, give them a little bit of compassion. I mean, they might be walking around inside their house going, is there a king in here? Is there a king? I don't see a king. Where was the king? I don't know. Just saying. Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. A couple of more real quick, and then we'll get to our discussions for the night. They rode around in cars. They walked. They picketed. They did everything. They tried to understand the why, but the reality is it was all about the brain damage. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. And by the way, did you guys see some of the people who participated in this rally? Oh boy. What's the difference between a No Kings rally attendee and Antifa? Not much. I'm not saying, but I'm just saying. Well, that's probably a good way to look at it. Salty, I think you're right. Be compassionate to them, but laugh really hard because they deserve it. Anyway, much thanks as always to WWG1. Much thanks as always to TBA and to everybody who has made contributions to tonight's live stream. It is always and greatly appreciated, especially in those moments when you save your host's hind end from his own stupidity. There you go. All right, let's talk about it. The No Kings rally. This thing was billed as one of the biggest protests in American history. It was going to be the people rising up and taking to the streets. It was going to be nonstop criticisms of Donald Trump and his autocracy and his autocratic ways. Ladies and gentlemen, this was going to be bigger than the Boston Tea Party. This was going to be everything America is all about. Our rebellious spirit rising up against tyrants who are trying to repress people and deprive them of their natural God-given rights. And the funny thing about the No Kings rally, among other aspects of it, is how quickly we realized that there weren't that many people out there protesting for their God-given rights or much else. As a matter of fact, I got one clip here. It's really kind of funny, talking about the fervent heat of the protests and how these people were going to take it to the streets and how these people were out there marching all day and all night in solidarity with each other for the cause. They're down with the struggle. Well, listen to this report from CNN because this is actually going to kind of crack you up.
Well, Frederica, this program of speakers just ended a short time ago. I can tell you that the crowd is thinning out here. People started to leave. But, boy, it was jam-packed here just a few minutes ago when the program of speakers was still going on. You had Senator Bernie Sanders, who just wrapped up to a rousing round of applause. Senator Chris Murphy spoke. Bill Nye, the science guy, spoke. And, again, the crowds are thinned, but they're not gone yet. I mean, there was just tens of thousands of people packed into a relatively small space here on Pennsylvania Avenue, and they were pressing forward as they arrived, really pack into a very, very tight space.
It's 2:30 in the afternoon, according to the telling, the in that upper right-hand corner, 2:30 in the afternoon. And they're gone. I thought these rallies were going to happen everywhere in America, which, by the way, that's cracking me up even more. 7 million people took to the streets. Well, maybe it's more like 3 million. Well, possibly it was 2. And then on down it went. And yeah. To tell you how bad it was for our friends out there on the left, the mainstream media took a picture of a rally in Boston, and they tried to sell. Let me see if I can find this thing real fast. Hang on. They tried to convince everybody that, oh, yeah. Here it is. Yeah. Big old picture, right? Come on. Come on. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I just, yeah. Yeah, here it is. I'm trying to find one that's just clean just a clean picture of it by itself. I've got it right here. I just need to get this thing. Come on. Where are you at? Yeah. Watch this. Now, I'm going to put this up on screen, right? Look at that crowd at the bottom. This supposedly is in Boston, Massachusetts, right? As most of you guys are probably now fully aware, that picture was not, the picture on the bottom that you're seeing right over here is not from October 18th, 2025. It was actually from 2017. And to give you a little more perspective on it, do me a favor and listen to this.
Fake news MSNBC got totally busted lying about the size of the No Kings rally.
Look at this. Millions of people across the country marching as we speak against the policies of President Trump. This is Boston. Look at that. We'll continue to follow these rallies throughout the day here on MSNBC. Wow.
It is Boston, but it's not October 18th, 2025. It's August 19th, 20.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. Sorry about that. The sound is really low, and I apologize for that. But what the point he's trying to make, that picture that you're seeing is from August of 2017. Okay. Well, good evening, Professor Tie-Dye. Glad you're here with us. Since our friends over at Steel Toe Morning Show or Evening Show are kind of on, shall we say, incarcerated hiatus at this point. We'll just leave it at that. Good to have you here, sir. I mean, the media is trying to hype this thing, and they couldn't do it. That's how bad it was. They could not in any way, shape, or form make this thing work. No dice, man. No dice, no bueno, no good, no nothing. Could not get it done. No matter what they tried, couldn't make it happen. Could not in any way, shape, or form make it happen. Hang on, folks. Trying to help out with something here. Or seeing if I can. One moment, please. Ah, there we are. You're cranked up. Okay. That was just that one video, I think. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, they tried every way in the world to make this thing bigger than what it was. And guess what? It was a flop. And that doesn't even get into the question of how much money was spent. Okay. Oh, good evening, dear. Glad to have you here with us. Oh, she absolutely is an idiot. Absolutely is an idiot. The media tried every way in the world to hype this thing, to get people to think that everybody out there hates Donald Trump. And out of a nation of 330 million people, they could only get 2 million people nationwide to go out for these rallies, if they even got that much. 2 is on the low end. I'd say probably 3, to be generous. 3 million people nationwide, and they didn't even rally all day long. In some cases, by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they're gone. Yep, and that is how much figure was pumped into this thing. Oh, you heard it was 650,000? Really? There's nothing there. But there was one aspect of these rallies, and I would like to talk about this with a lot of seriousness. Some of the imagery that came out of these rallies are quite disturbing. For example, did you guys see this picture from over the weekend? This guy is dressed up trying to look like Charlie Kirk after he was shot. Okay. This guy's name is Ian Charbonnet. Okay. Lives in Georgia. At least that's what, people are saying. But he dressed himself up to look like Charlie Kirk after he had been shot. Yeah, that's true. That's really true. True indeed, sir. But he wasn't the only one. Then you've got, let me find it here real fast. Where is this woman? Hang on. Had it lined up. Come on. One second, please. Yeah. Here's another one. One of the more never heard of woman. There we go. Do you guys happen to see this chick? I'm trying to remember where this rally was at. Hang on. Well, we'll get to that here momentarily. Did you guys happen to see this image from over the weekend? Watch this.
Hey! Never heard of Ozempic, you fat ass? Hey! Never heard of Ozempic, you...
She's imitating the shot that went into Charlie Kirk's neck. Now, if you're wondering who she is, according to some people who've done some research, this frankly ought to scare you to death. Supposedly, her name is Lucy Martinez, and she is an elementary school teacher from Chicago. I want this to sink in for a minute, and I'm not trying to be anything other than an honest broker here, but I want you to think about this for a minute. These kind of people are educating your kids or your grandkids. And the reason that I'm pointing out these two examples, and now I could sit here all evening and keep on going with this, right? Just example after example after example of stuff that you saw at these rallies. I bring all that up to bring up this. And what I'm going to say here is not necessarily anything new, but if you need the proof of it, okay, this No Kings rally is probably the best example you're going to get. Folks on the political left, a significant number of them, and I'll argue it's now a good, healthy majority, they have normalized violence in politics. People ask me all the time, what's the difference between people on the right and people on the left. And let me just say before I answer this question, are there individuals on the right over the years that you could point to and say that person engaged in a form of political violence? Yeah, you probably could. Probably could. But it's way too much and way too often and way too easily accessible anymore to show example after example after example after example after example of people who are on the political left who are not only normalizing violence, they're encouraging it. You've got the mayor of Chicago, the governor of Illinois, encouraging people to stand up to ICE agents to protest the president. I mean, on and on. I mean, literally, I could give example after example after example after example of this. I mean, these two images are bad and disturbing enough. Okay. I mean, and you guys could do it. All you got to do is go on Twitter and just type in "No Kings Rally," and the examples that you are finding, you sit there and go, wow. But stop and consider this. When I say that the political left has normalized political violence and violent rhetoric, there's a candidate running for attorney general right now in Virginia on the Democrat side who wanted to see 2 bullets put into the head of his political opponent. Not the guy he's running against currently, somebody else. A gentleman who at one time was the Speaker of the Virginia House of Delegates. And nobody, and I mean nobody on the Democrat side, is calling for this guy to get out. There was a time when that kind of comment came to light, immediately, if for no other reason than the politics of it, the Democrats would have made the guy withdraw. Not anymore. I have heard this from more than one person or one commentator or one live streamer, but more and more, I absolutely agree with it. This is what the Democrat Party has become. They did a poll. Yeah, it was Virginia. I'm trying to remember the exact percentage. A poll came out after these comments from the AG candidate in Virginia came out. 90% of Democrats had absolutely no problem with it. Matter of fact, we commented on this on a Saturday morning front porch brunch. I think it was a poll done by now I remember specifically. It was the lieutenant governor did a poll. 90% of Democrats had absolutely no problem whatsoever. None with the comments that he made. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that's another aspect of it I didn't even bring up, but you're right, Lana. Not just his opponent, but the kids. The guy's kids. Yeah, TBA, I think you're absolutely right, brother. I think you're absolutely right. And so was Glenn Beck. And he called this thing 15, 16 years ago. Jay Jones, thank you. The candidate's name is Jay Jones. He's running for Attorney General in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Their election is about 2 weeks, I think. Oh, really? Really? They view it as a massive turnout. Uh-huh. Wow. Yeah, I'm not surprised that AI lied to you, brother. AI is lying to a lot of people. Does the rally surprise me? No, I expect the left to rally. What shocks me and what breaks my heart, and I mean this in all sincerity, what breaks my heart is that this is where we're at now. You got one side that's clinging desperately to a set of old institutions, old values, old norms, trying to preserve a republic and a way of life that we've known for 200 plus years. And then you got a bunch of modern anarchists on the other side that want to burn it all down. And they have no problem hurting you physically, hurting me physically, hurting our family members physically, whatever, to get their way. And there's no reasoning with them anymore. There's not. I wish there were. Charlie Kirk tried to do that. And he's dead. And it is genuinely frightening where we are right now. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom here. I'm really not. You know, in the midst of the darkness, I always think there's a certain amount of light that's always going to come through. And I still think it's going to happen. I don't know how. I don't know when. I don't know what form it's necessarily going to take. But I think in the midst of this darkness, there is going to be a light that's going to be lit. And maybe it's going to be the young people. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be enough reasonable-minded people, be they Democrats, Republicans, Independents, who stand up and say, enough of this. We'll see. Now, you say to yourself, oh, come on, that's just a bunch of protesters out there. That's just protesters out there who are, you know, they're just blowing off steam. They don't like Trump. They're not thinking about what they're saying, yada, yada, yada. The left is not weaponizing violence. Oh, yeah? Then explain this. Here's a story from justthenews.com. U.S. Marshal and illegal migrant injured during ICE stop in Los Angeles. Suspect was shot in the elbow, and the U.S. Marshal was injured in the hand by a ricochet bullet. DHS Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs Tricia McLaughlin said in a statement, both are in the hospital. Department of Homeland Security on Tuesday said federal officers wounded an illegal migrant and a U.S. Marshal during a ICE stop in Los Angeles. Law enforcement officers were trying to arrest the migrant, who allegedly previously escaped from custody after he was pulled over in a standard law enforcement. Migrant allegedly tried to ram the officers with a car, trying to flee the scene, prompting the officers to fire defensive shots. Folks, we are sitting on, I mean, Kit Cabello said it better than anybody else. We're sitting on a powder keg, and it's about to go off. Yeah. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. I mean, it really, truly, genuinely is frightening. Now, that said, however, there is, or was, there was a fun thing, kind of a funny that came out of the weekend. You've always heard it said that the left cannot meme. That is definitely not true of folks on the right. Did you hear about the did you hear about the Top Gun meme? Okay. Did you guys hear about the Donald Trump meme and Harry Sisson? If you have not seen this yet, I think you guys are going to get a kick out of it. Now, YouTube's going to get me in trouble for this one, but I think you're going to quite enjoy this. If you didn't see it, check this out. Now, I'll cut the music out of it. So there's Trump in a jet. He's looking, and he's dropping. Oh, my goodness. And there's Harry Sisson. Now, that's the meme, okay? And you wouldn't think yeah, you got that right, dear. It is. Now, that meme in and of itself is pretty funny. What's even funnier is when Harry, let me find this real fast. Hang on a minute. I got to find this. Well, now, funny you should ask that question, sir. Funny indeed you should ask that question. Hang on 1 minute. Let me find his reaction. He's being interviewed in this clip by Don Lemon. And he almost is breaking down in tears about this meme. Hang on a second, because I got to find the clip. I got to find this. Okay. Hold on a minute. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. So Harry Sisson, who is a Democrat activist, he's a young man. And he kind of lives up to that adage of Winston Churchill. If you're a liberal under the age, if you're a liberal under the age of 40. Oh yeah, now I remember. If you're a conservative under the age of 40, you don't have a heart. If you're a liberal over the age of 40, you don't have a brain. Well, he's sort of the reverse of that. But yeah, he's one of those young Democrat influencers. So he's being interviewed by Don Lemon about this meme. So yeah, he's still crying about it. And if you don't believe me, check this out.
Yeah, I think this is actually bigger than me. I know that this video was attacking me, but there were also millions of Americans that were also displayed in that video, also getting attacked by the president of the United States. So he's attacking me in a petty, gross, disgusting way. But I think the more concerning story here is that, I think this is his genuine feelings toward peaceful protest, that if he could, he would attack in some way, shape, or form the people who dissent. So I don't think that this is it's just about me or like the gross attack. I think this is a broader, more concerning story surrounding the Trump admin.
Oh, Harry, give it up. This is a reflection of what Donald Trump really thinks about people who protest. Really? That's what you've got? That's what you've got? You have, oh, jeez. This guy is just absolutely an idiot. Now, if you want to know just how big of an idiot he is, he goes on Piers Morgan, and I got a clip. Yeah, exactly. Cry me some more, baby. Cry me some more. Yeah, totally. Totally. Wait a minute. Harry Sisson had a lawyer send the White House a letter telling him telling Donald Trump take the meme down. Oh my God. I believe you. I had not seen that, but I absolutely believe you. Totally believe you. Now, if you want an idea of the intellectual heft of influencers like Harry Sisson, I got a clip here from Piers Morgan's show. Piers Morgan had Harry Sisson, Jack Posobiec, and a couple other commentators on, and they got into a discussion of folks on the left, using and making comments that people would consider untoward. I mean, Harry's out there crying about the president, displaying his attitude, what he thinks about people who protest against him. Okay, let's see how you want to defend this one, Harry. Try this out. This runs about 2.5 minutes. I'll stop it where I think I need to, but check this out.
Just be honest with me here. When you first saw that meme involving excrement being deposited on you, did you laugh?
No, I don't think the president behaving in this way is funny. I think we have to hold our leaders to a higher standard. That's something that you typically see in my Twitter comments from like some MAGA boomer who spends their time making AI videos all day. It's not something you'd really hope to see from the president of the United States, but alas, we are here. This is the guy leading our country. He's not serious. And I don't actually think he cares about anybody but himself. And I think he's more interested in social media beef with a 23-year-old as the vice president is than he is in leading the country.
I'm going to stop that right there for 1 minute. Okay. He doesn't care about anybody other than himself. Harry, you may or may not ever see this live stream, but son, And yes, I am older than you. I will pull that card. Son, let me set you straight on some things. Do I think Donald Trump is perfect? Oh, heck no. Heck no. I support Donald Trump. I most certainly do not expect him to be perfect, nor do I think he is perfect. Okay? And for the record, there is no such thing as a perfect American president. But the argument that says that the man does not care about we, the American people, I'll take 1 day of Donald Trump trying to get things done versus 8 years of Joe Biden. Okay? Because Donald Trump will try to do more in 1 day to benefit the average American than any Democrat president will in 8 years. We've seen what your idea of caring about the American people leads to. We had 8 years of Barack Obama. We had 4 years of Joe Biden. So basically 12 years of Barack Obama, if you get right down to it. We've seen what your idea of caring works out to. Please don't ever try to convince me or anybody else that Donald Trump does not care about the average American. He cares more about the average American than all your Democrat presidents combined. But having now straightened you out on that point, son, let's go back to the video.
I mean, you managed to say all that with a completely straight face, but your side have done endless, incredibly mocking, humiliating memes about Trump. I mean, you'd accept that.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. Now, look, I have no great love for Piers Morgan. Okay. I got nothing against the guy, but I don't have a great, Piers Morgan's on. I'm going to stop everything I'm doing and watch it. But Piers is about to put this kid in his place. Okay. Because he's absolutely right. How many different things over the course of, let's say, 10 years have you seen the left do in mockery or mocking imagery of Donald Trump? I mean, the big one that comes to my mind, Kathy Griffin holding a bloody head of a beheaded Donald Trump, holding out the severed head in front of her, among other things. But anyway, let's see how old Harry wants to respond to this one.
Like what?
Well, I mean, I could get literally 1,000 if you gave me half an hour to find them. I mean, it's not a secret.
Can you give me a couple examples from like high-ranking limiters?
Well, it's not a secret that the left do memes about Trump, right?
Can you give me some examples from high-ranking Democrats that are similar to this?
Well, okay. Let me flip the question around. Are you saying there have never been any mocking memes of Trump by anybody on the left in America?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm asking for like high-level prominent Democrats who might be in a similar position.
Okay,
to Trump,
well, Gavin Newsom has done a lot of memes on Trump. I mean, do you distance yourself from those?
Has he done an AI video of dropping feces on the American people?
Well, that's a question of taste, but he does mocking memes of him, yeah.
Right. I mean, I think taste is a big point here. And I think objectively, Gavin Newsom, like mocking Trump on social media or posting like AI photos of himself or something like that is vastly different than Trump pooping on Americans, including myself and the American flag in that video. I think even you, Pierce, would agree that those are two vastly different things, no?
Well, there is a report, for example, that you have sent a cease and desist letter to the White House threatening legal action if they don't withdraw it. Is that true?
No, I saw that on Twitter. I don't know where anybody got that from. I think there are genuinely just a lot of accounts on that platform that make stuff up. And I think that's just another case of that. But you heard it here first. I have not sent a cease and desist to the White House.
Can't handle it when it's put back in their face. High-ranking. Why does it have to be an elected politician? No, it's not the same thing. Well, yeah, whatever. Cute, Harry. Really cute. So yeah, the No Kings protest rally, you can more or less say was a bust. You can more or less say did nothing except one thing above all else. If you want to get a really good idea of where the political left is in this country in terms of their embracing of violence, violent rhetoric, violent actions, then just look around the No Kings rally. Like I said, I could have sat here for a good 10, 15, 20 minutes just showing you example after example after example, posted on Twitter of things that were done, said. Yeah. That gives you a real good idea of where folks on the political left are in this country right now, when the potential for it to get worse. Absolutely get worse. Totally crazy. And very sad. Very sad indeed. All right. We're going to shift gears a little bit. And we're going to do a real quick synopsis on a story that I still can't believe it. Did you guys hear over the weekend the story about what happened in Paris, France? The heist at the Louvre? I still can't believe this one. I just cannot believe it. But before I do that, let me do a real quick commercial since we're at the top of the hour. If you've happened on this live stream and you're sitting here going, man, these guys are kind of fun, kind of serious, great commentary, fantastic memes, cool chat, wonderful people. Well, you have found your way to my channel, which is the Front Porch Conservative. And this live stream is called the Tuesday Night Newsroom. We get together, we hang out, we talk about items in the news. We get to give our views and let everybody know what we think about it all. If you're not a member of my channel, go ahead and subscribe to me on YouTube and on Rumble. And while you're at it, hit the thumbs up button tonight. Leave a comment in chat. It really, truly does help push this channel out there for people who maybe have never seen it before. Hit the bell for notifications. Share the link around with your friends. Let's see if we can get some people subscribed to the channel and keep this thing moving on up. Now, the we'll get to that. We'll get to that too. We'll get to that. Something happened over the weekend in Paris, France that in my wildest dreams, I never would have thought possible. I have watched, I can't tell you how many good heist movies, H-E-I-S-T, heist, robberies. The Great Train Robbery with Sean Connery and Donald Sutherland back in the 70s. Just the Italian Job. I mean, the Thomas Crown Affair. How many great movies have you guys watched over the years where with skill, precision, impeccable timing, great planning, the actors or actresses in the film pull off an amazing robbery, okay? And you think to yourself after you get done watching the movie, well, this is the movie. Nothing like this would ever happen in real life. Au contraire, my friends, it did happen this weekend. In case you did not hear about this or you did not see it, on October 19th, 4 suspects disguised as construction workers used a crane to enter Paris's Louvre Museum through a renovation site, smashing display cases in the Galerie des Apollons to steal 8 priceless pieces of Napoleon Bonaparte's collection, valued at 102 million, I'm going to assume euros, in under 7 minutes. The museum closed immediately for investigation. No injuries were reported. French officials, including President Emmanuel Macron, pledged to recover the items and apprehend the culprits. Interpol has alerted global authorities to monitor for the stolen jewels, which include a sapphire tiara and a diamond and emerald necklace once owned by figures like Hortense de Beauharnais. Forgive my French. Oh, I'm with you. I love the ocean movie. Ocean's 11, 12, 13, etc. Yeah, absolutely. But stuff like that, you watch it and you say, well, it's a movie. It's just a movie. Nothing like this would ever happen in real life. 4 thieves in under 7 minutes climbed a ladder. Matter of fact, have I got a picture of the ladder? Hang on a minute. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Check this out. These dudes used this ladder, okay, climbed up to what would be the second floor of the Louvre, broke through that window where the pointer is at right there, got into the second floor gallery, and stole stole 109 or 110 million, let's just call it dollars, $110 million worth of jewelry. Here's the display cases where these crown jewels. Yeah, look at this. All lined up in a row, easy access, easy to get to. Unbelievable. I mean, just, yeah, here's a clip right here. There. And they did it in under 7 minutes. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, but no, wait a minute, though. Wait a minute. It's a Sunday morning. You see 4 construction workers. Okay, maybe a little bit unusual, but they're dressed like construction workers. They've got a construction truck. You know, people are driving by. Maybe they're on their way to breakfast. Perhaps they're on their way to Mass. You know, as France is a Roman Catholic nation, more or less. It didn't occur to anybody. In 7 minutes, these guys were in and out with over $100 million of jewelry. Absolutely unbelievable. Now, one piece of it, and I think it was Gypsy who was telling me about this. One piece of it was found just outside the Louvre. Okay. Just outside the Louvre. Yeah, as a matter of fact, here's some of the items right here. Take a look at this. Beautiful, beautiful pieces. Emeralds. Wow, just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, we don't know for sure who stole them. We'll freely admit that. Yeah, Mary, here's another one. This is the crown that was found. Well, okay, that's a good question. Why throw the crown in the gutter? This is the piece, I believe. This is the piece that was found just outside the Louvre. Maybe they stripped the jewels out of it. It's possible. Maybe they stripped the jewels out of it and just threw the crown away. I mean, that's my first thought. Or maybe in their panic to get away, it was too bulky. They couldn't put it in a bag fast enough, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like you. It is weird. Now, that's a good question. If you're going to try and unload this stuff for money, who would you go talk to? Don't think the French authorities don't know. They've got to have a list of suspects of people that if you're going to try and move stolen jewelry around the world, that somebody's not going to get a phone call. So that's a good question too. Now, no one knows for sure who the thieves were, but there is one popular theory, and it does kind of make sense. So for those of you that have not heard about this yet, we do think there is one possibility. Check this out. Maybe it was Zelensky. Maybe it was Zelensky. Look, he's trying to get, Trump to give him some tomahawks. Well, actually, he was trying to get Trump to give him some cocaine. Trump wouldn't give him the cocaine, wouldn't give him the tomahawks. Maybe Zelensky figures, if I get him a crown and he'll give me tomahawks and I sell tomahawks and I get cocaine, maybe Zelensky was behind it. Who knows? Maybe we'll never quite know. Now, this is a possibility too. Maybe, we got a thief that likes to just thieve. There are some people that love the challenge of being able to say, I broke into the Louvre and I stole these jewels. It's possible. It is possible. So I don't know. But yeah, this was pretty ballsy. This was really ballsy. $106 million worth of jewels in and out in 7 minutes. They didn't bypass any. I don't think they're going to go to a pawn shop with this, my friend. Call me crazy. I just don't see them doing that. Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I have never heard. I've heard of some audacious robberies before, but it's been a long time since I've ever heard of anything this big on this scale. Four guys, 7 minutes, in and out with over $100 million in jewelry. And here's the part that gets me. Okay, hang on a minute. I have just been sent a tweet. Hang on, we will check this out. One moment, please. Oh, okay. Now this starts making some sense. Hang on. And this is from the theft of Napoleonic treasures in the Louvre followed a change in the display cases in 2019. Before then, the Rococo display cases had armored glass, and if disturbed, the treasures would drop into a safe. They were later replaced by, quote, modern displays with normal glass. Well, no wonder they were able to break in so easy. Yeah, because here's the old display prior to 2019. Heavy plated glass. And apparently there's a drop right here. Jewels would drop right down. Couldn't get to them. Here's what the modern display cases look like. Thin glass. It's no wonder they were able to break into them. Holy cow. Holy cow. Oh, yeah, and you bring up a really good point. They had a DEI director. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can find this real fast. This is from a person on Twitter named Amuse. And he asked the question, was DEI to blame for the Louvre robbery? The museum's first female director, Laurence Decazes, has filled top positions with female appointees, including the Louvre's first female security chief, Dominique Buffon. Decazes has celebrated a string of diversity first, but after the recent theft, critics say her focus on DEI over competence has left the world's most famous museum more vulnerable than ever. Wait a minute. Hang on. What's this? Wait a minute. Hold it, folks. We got some more information here. Hang on. That sort of begs the question, why did they change the display cases? Okay, we may have an explanation for that. Because, and that makes sense. If you have a display case that you've used for, let's say, hundreds of years, okay, and maybe with some modifications, okay, for technology, okay, why would you change it? I mean, the jewels are secure, have been secure for centuries. Why would you change all that? Well, could it possibly be for the following reason? Hang on just a minute. They wanted to make the treasures more accessible. This is from a web.com. To counter its elitist image, the museum will strive for a, quote, cultural democratization to make its treasures more accessible with improved presentation, labeling, and curating. Martinez, and I'm not sure who that is, who comes from a working class background, said he wanted to build on the outreach success of the Louvre's Outpost Museum in Lens, a poor former mining town in northern France. He said the former royal palace in the heart of Paris can, quote, intimidate certain demographics, and the museum needs to reassure people that its collections are also for them. Oh, for the love of God. Look, okay, I'm just going to say this. If this what's being reported here on France24.com, if this is legitimately the reason why, in part, they changed the display cases where those jewels had been housed for decades, then with all due respect to the officials who run the Louvre, you got what you deserved. If you were stupid enough to change the display cases to make people feel less intimidated, then, brother, they definitely felt less intimidated. And not only less intimidated, they were bold enough to steal you blind. You got what you had coming. Which kind of goes to something else. Why do we have to water down every standard in order to make people feel like they can be a part of something? Don't we want to have a standard that raises people up, that causes them to rise above where they are? When you make something for everybody, the reality is you created nothing for everyone, because there's nothing to strive to. There's nothing to try to attain to. And they just proved it here. You wanted to make it more accessible, so people don't feel intimidated. Well, like I said, not only did they not feel intimidated, they felt bold enough to steal you blind. So you officials that run the Louvre, you got what you had coming. If you have no standards, then anything goes, and the mediocre can now feel superior in their Amen. Absolutely amen. Yeah, that's a real good point. Should I leave my front door open to make my stuff more? Yeah. Well, apparently the French think you should. Apparently the French. What? Okay. Here's the question I have to the director of the Louvre. Do you, to borrow on WWG1's point, do you leave your front door wide open and so people feel more accessible to your home? Or do you have a locked door with a security system? I will almost bet you anything that the director of the Louvre probably has some of the best security in Paris. What do you want to bet? But oh no, not when it comes to, we need to democratize our art. You blithering idiot. Just idiot. Like I said, if this is why you did it, you guys got what you deserved. You genuinely did. Anyway, tell you what, folks, we're going to pull the train into the station a little bit early. Because really, for right now, that's what I got. Okay. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by the Tuesday night newsroom. We are going to be back tomorrow night with a session of Chatting on the Porch. And one of our favorite guests is coming by to talk all things economics, Dr. Robin McCutcheon, 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Plan on being here. I'll have the link out probably here in the next 20 minutes or so, which I've got to forward it to her anyway. But plan on being here 7 o'clock tomorrow night. We're going to talk all things economy. And if you've never been in a session with Dr. McCutcheon, you're going to want to bring some friends because this is going to be a load of fun. So plan on being here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have a conversation with Dr. Robin McCutcheon. And in the meanwhile, you guys have yourselves a great rest of the Tuesday night. Love you very much. Thank you for everything you do for this channel. As you leave, remember, hit the thumbs up button. Leave a comment in chat. Share the link around with your friends and hit the bell for notifications. And if you're not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and do it. I love you guys very much. Thank you for being here. And remember the words of that great American philosopher, Tom T. Hall, when he said, "It's faster horses, younger lovers, older whiskey, more money." Love you guys very much. Thank you and good night.